An unidentified boat has turned up at a local marina. No name, no serial numbers. Now, that may not seem like a job for CSI, but when the marina manager went aboard, he found a crew of one dead female, that is. Hook up with Eric Delco. He's one of our best, and check out this nautical mystery.
So, you're the new recruit, huh? Well, it sounds like you're making a big splash around here. Eric Delco. Glad to have you aboard. But right now, we've got some cleanup to do in here. It appears the life of this party ended up a victim. Cool in here. Air conditioning was left on. Shot in the head. Damn, she was a living doll. Emphasis on was. Who did this to her? Finger marks around the neck. Now, why strangle her, then shoot her in the head? Kind of redundant, don't you think? Somebody got lucky, and so did we. We'll have DNA to work with. Why do I think this camera wasn't for routine surveillance? Somebody uninstalled electronic gear here. Let's grab a picture. The way that boat is decked out for kinky fun and games, I don't imagine these home movies are family vacations. Marine rope, usually used to tie up boats. What's this doing here, anyway? Seem out of place to you? We have a cabin tricked out into a carnal carnival. Rope and duct tape weren't used to wrap packages here. At least not the kind you take to the post office. Bondage and S&M fantasies don't always lead to murder. Somebody was playing peekaboo camera. I wonder if all the participants knew they were the stars of the show. Picture's worth 1,000 words unless somebody tears it into tiny pieces. I'd like to see what somebody didn't like seeing.
Any way I can help? Glad to. A team is on its way now. Not long, but with rigor mortis absent, I'd say perhaps 48 hours. Complete rigor begins to dissipate after 18 to 36 hours after death, and in the typical body is completely gone within 48 to 60 hours. No question. With the vaginal ripping combined with those marks, I'd normally suggest she'd been raped. But we have no evidence of struggle, no blood or skin beneath the victim's fingernails, in a setting that suggests rough sex play is par for the course. Here's a semen sample extracted from the Vic. Possibly. The problem here is the bruises on the wrists and neck could also suggest willing sadomasochistic sex play. Date rape turned into murder? Possibly. A wide variety of inhalation anesthetics can affect the nervous system, causing unconsciousness or skeletal muscles to relax, Though I haven't found traces of anything in her system, it's not always easy to find. Please do. I'd be glad to see if you can find something I missed.
Entry wound is small. Bullet doesn't seem to have exited the brain.
I did, but it wasn't anywhere near the entry wound. I had to look around for it. You know how these smaller bullets can ricochet around inside a skull?
Hey. Ejaculate, the place where life begins, right down to the genetic code. It's also where identification begins. I've sent the DNA over to the computer. DNA's amplified and graphed. What are you waiting for? Computer's got it. To turn this into evidence, you're gonna have to put the puzzle pieces together. I've set it up for you on the assembly table behind me. Do-it-yourself porn, and our Vic is the star, but there's no snuff film here. Things get a little kinky, but for the most part, stay friendly. Don't know what kind of rope tricks I can whip up from this. I'll send some fibers over to the microscope for a closer look. Duct tape, 1,000 everyday uses. If you want, I can send it over to the microscope for you. Bullet from our Vic. Let's take a closer look. Check the microscope.
Well, our yacht has a name, anyway. Misfortune. Might be worth having Valera set up a search link on the computer.
Check the computer. I've set up a special search link for you. No problem.
The tear marks on this tape give it a unique identity, just like fingerprints. If we find other sections of tape with matching tear marks, they might help us piece this mystery together. Not surprising, just the kind of small slug, .22 caliber that pinballs around inside a victim's head, then stays there. Which is good for us, not so good for the murderer. This boat is registered to Ella Sinclair, and as for that 911 call made 2 days ago, it matches a yacht of this description. Could be a blind alley, but we better go down it just the same. Let's get the 911 call recording from Yelena.
What do you need? Sure. Let me just check the local phone service providers. Here we go. Phone belongs to a Thad Wilson. Has a place on the bay which would not come cheap. Better check it out. It'll still be in the database. Here it is. Digital version of the 911 recording made 2 days ago.
There's a woman in this boat at my deck. A yacht, cream-colored with burgundy and light blue trim. She's in trouble, naked in a red cabin. She might be dead. Oh my God, it's pulling away.
I'm Eric Delco. We're with the Miami-Dade Crime Lab, and, aren't you Julia Alvarez?
Of course I am. If you are with the police, don't you know where you are? What is this about anyway?
I'm sorry, Miss Alvarez. Just didn't expect to run into a celebrity. We were expecting a Mr. Thad Wilson.
Well, that's very flattering, Mr. Delco. But what do you want with Tad? I'm his wife. He's my manager. Don't you people pay any attention to the media?
My role today is as a CSI, and if you wouldn't mind answering a few questions, we can let you get back to your busy life.
I'm never too busy to help out the authorities. Please go ahead and ask. "911 call? No. No, I can't say I have. No, I'm sorry, he's out, taking care of business." You mean a maid? Or what are you implying? That Julia Alvarez's husband needs other female companionship? Wouldn't you think I would be enough?
Miss Alvarez, no offense was intended, but that 911 call was from a woman on a phone registered to your husband.
No! How many times do I have to tell you?
We were just hoping you could answer the question. We'll look into the matter ourselves then. Thank you, Miss Alvarez.
Hey, what do you need? With a celebrity performer like her, that's a snap. Here's an audio clip from a recent radio interview.
We have been lucky to chat in a national market where Latin music is the exception, not the rule. And I think we have hit the bullseye again. Great rhythm and a melody you just can't get out of your head.
We've got 2 audio samples now, but it'll take a voice print analysis in the lab to confirm a match.
Yes? I had our audio tech, Tyler Jensen, prepare a sound spectrograph of the call. It'll give you a voice print showing fundamental frequency, harmonics, and intensity of the voice. It's in the computer. I had Tyler Jensen make a sound spectrograph or voice print for you, for comparison. It's in the computer.
This indicates Julia, despite denying it, did indeed make that 911 call. Maybe the evidence will convince her to really help the authorities this time.
I'm very busy. Do you mind? Well, if you must ask, ask. But please, I am a busy woman. I have told you repeatedly, I did not call 911. Please leave my property.
Maybe you'd like to make a personal appearance downtown.
I have nothing more to say, and your threats don't impress me in the least.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous. What a pain.
Can I help you out on this case? Despite denying it, we know Miss Alvarez made the 911 call 2 days ago. We also know that she mentioned a boat like the Misfortune and a woman who seems to be Hervec. We need any information our songbird has, and have every right to bring her in to sing for us.
Ready to perform now, Miss Alvarez?
Look, I know you think I'm acting like some kind of diva, but I just can't be part of this affair. I don't know any more than what is on that 911 call, that anonymous call, all right? And really, I just can't abide any more bad publicity right now. You know that saying, no such thing as bad publicity, long as they spell your name right?
I can understand that you don't want to be tied to bad publicity, but all we're asking is that you share and we'll shield you from the media.
Now you tell me. Every photographer in Miami took my picture, as you people escorted me here in that police car. Go on. Ask your damn questions. There really isn't much to tell. 2 nights ago, I came home from a charity fundraiser at the Palm Glen Club, just hoping to relax out on my deck in the evening breeze. I was not happy to find a strange yacht tied up to our private pier. I went on board to give the captain a piece of my mind. Only what I found wasn't the captain. The first mate, maybe that naked woman in that garage room on the bed, looking deader than disco. I booked it off that boat faster than a paparazzi outside a celebrity wedding. I came in and called 911. But while I was on the phone, I looked out the window and saw that boat taking off. Well, I figured I must have jumped to the wrong conclusion. She must have been fine. Not dead at all. Dead drunk, maybe, but sober enough to pilot that boat away, at least. I mean, who else could have been at the wheel? I just hung up and fixed myself a drink, which I did not have out on the dock. He stayed behind, at the Palm Glen. It was the big event of the season, and I just, felt like heading home a little early. Thad was having a fine old time, and I encouraged him to stay. I'd been in a recording session all day and had a hell of a headache going. Then everybody at the club was after me to sing a song or two. And the band there was just a bunch of rank amateurs, and last thing I wanted to do was sit in with them. All I wanted was to get away from that noise and all those people. Probably home by now. Could somebody get hold of him and have him send our driver out to pick me up? Assuming you're satisfied that I cooperated fully.
Sorry, Miss Alvarez. We're going to have to ask you to stick around. You know how fans are. They always want an encore or two. No, never saw her or that awful boat. It's all we need for now.
This is a private dock, fellas. You need help?
I'm Eric Delco, and we're with the Miami-Dade Crime Lab. Are you Thad Wilson, sir?
I am. But there seems to be some mistake. I haven't reported any crime.
We're following up on several leads in a murder case.
Murder? I can't imagine how I could be of help. But if I can be, I want to be. If you have any questions, by all means, ask. 2 nights. Let me see. Would that have been the night of the fundraiser at the club? The Palm Glen, that is. I was there with my wife, but I'm afraid we, got into a bit of an argument and she kind of, well, stormed out. Listen, this is rather personal, and what with Julia celebrity and all, could you please be discreet? Anyway, I just wandered out onto the golf course by myself and tried to, I don't know, get my thoughts together. Even the best marriages can hit a rocky patch, you know? And well, I was just bummed out and trying to deal with it. Julie and I don't own a boat. Never have. We like to come down and sit and relax and look out on the water, but we don't use the dock for boats. We don't even have friends who own boats. Like a clumsy fool is how. Gutting a fish and the knife slipped. It was pretty bad, blood everywhere. Had to get stitches. You're more than welcome to do anything that'll aid in your investigation. Oh, but I should say, we had this swarm of seagulls pay us an unexpected visit, and they left their messy little calling cards all over the deck. You'll find more seagull droppings and evidence, I'm afraid. I haven't been out there since.
It's all we need for now. Must be Thad's blood from that knife mishap gutting that fish, assuming he's telling the truth. Well, help from above. A shoe print baked into seagull droppings. Keep up the good work, and you won't need me around anymore.
What's up? DNA scanned and waiting in the computer for you. Shoe prints scanned and in the computer. Tiny bit of fiber. You'll get a better look under the microscope. I'll send it over.
We've confirmed that Miss Fortune was tied up at Thad and Julia's dock. A match. This could mean that Thad was on the yacht. Intimately on that yacht. But we need a DNA sample directly from him to verify that. This also raises other questions, which we need to ask.
Sure. Go ahead and ask away. I don't think so. With a name like that, you'd think I'd remember.
With your semen found aboard the Miss Fortune, I think you should remember.
Now that's crazy. Just impossible. I have never been on that boat. Look, we may have a dock, but we don't even own a boat. It just came with the place. I don't like the stupid things. I get seasick. Now, if you found my puke in there, that would be more likely. You better recheck your science, guys. Not without a warrant, you can't. You're invading my privacy enough as it is.
It's all we need for now.
What do you need? Let's invite him back.
That's right. That's what I told you before. Don't you remember?
I remember you saying that you had a headache. Long day of recording, lousy band making noise at the club.
Well, that's true too. But in addition, my husband can be an insensitive jerk sometimes, and his constant yammering in my ear, that was making my headache worse. I'm very busy. Do you mind? Well, if you must ask, ask. But please, I am a busy woman. Thad was seeing a sexual therapist. How I deal with that or not is my own business. It's personal, all right? My fight with Thad had to do with this recent internet embarrassment. Bad publicity like that, I don't need. I'm a performer whose image is tied up with sexuality. Having my husband... Well, I already said too much. We've never met. I do know her name is Ella Sinclair, and that she was a fraud. She is in fact a XXX movie star. Perhaps you have seen her in such a fine fare as Chili Dog Chicks and Road to Perspiration. Or perhaps the little indie flick on the net, co-starring my husband, whose sexual problems suddenly appear solved. My fashion consultant read about them in a supermarket tabloid and told me. I dismissed it as trash until I did a little web search of my own. At the club, at the fundraiser, that's what the argument was about. All right? Satisfied?
It's all we need for now.
Oh my God. You know about that? Gentlemen, I truly am embarrassed. What can I say? Julie and I have been having problems. And when she learned about that video, she went off like a rocket. And who can blame her? Don't think so. I meet a lot of people in my business, though. Suppose it's possible, but I don't think so.
I'm sure you do meet a lot of people. But do you usually leave your DNA behind on the bed where they were murdered?
Well, she said her name was Stella. Stella Claire. And it was therapy. Why are you looking at me like that? My psychologist prescribed her to me. 'Cause of this performance anxiety type problem. Yes, it was perfectly straight up. So to speak. She's a sexual surrogate. Helps people with intimacy issues. And the tapes she made herself. I knew about it. She was monitoring these sessions so she could chart my improvement. When I heard the tapes had found their way to the net, I was beside myself, as you might imagine. I threatened legal action, but Miss Claire claimed she wasn't responsible, said that Troy had collected the tapes from her a week earlier.
If what you're saying is true, then finding DNA in her bed would make perfect sense.
Troy Sullivan. Dr. Sullivan, my psychologist. He's who prescribed Miss Claire's therapy sessions. Maybe you've heard of him. He's well known.
Oh, we've heard of him. He's a paid expert witness in numerous criminal cases, always for the defense.
She blew her stack, which wasn't fair. I told her that I was getting help in that, department. But I just hadn't told her to what extent or how. And then she acted like I was going to a prostitute or something.
Imagine. When all you were doing was innocently paying this woman to have sex with you.
No, I don't like the things. But Julia? She doesn't go anywhere without one. Star like her needs protection from stalkers and other nutcases.
It's all we need for now.
Can I help you out in this case? Close variants like that are typical for aliases. Let's check. Well, here's a hit for Stella Claire. Our sex therapy teacher is moonlighting in a related field. Seems she's a rising star in adult films. Her diplomas in sexual therapy may be well earned, but they're phony just the same. And she's had several prostitution busts to boot. Should be a snap. With this address on the east side, he must be doing all right. These must be some fancy digs. Yeah, let's have another chat with him.
You know I do, and you know why. Famous people make enemies and friends, some of whom get too friendly.
Where is it now?
In my purse. Why? Did you want it?
What do you think, Miss Alvarez?
I'm very busy. Do you mind?
Yes? Small but deadly. Whatever happened to a gal just packing a can of mace in her purse? I've put a search into the computer and a discharged bullet from this weapon into the microscope.
The caliber is correct, but the rifling does not match. Looks like we may be looking for another murder weapon. Seems Julia's gun actually belongs to Thad. Remember him? The guy who said he hated guns, never owned one in his life?
Sorry, officers. That's all I can think of for now. Sure. Go ahead and ask away. I don't, really. I mean, I paid for it, but it's my wife's. I told you that.
What do you need? Yeah, let's have another chat with him.
I'm very busy. Do you mind? Well, if you must ask, ask. But please, I am a busy woman. It's not his gun. It's mine. I mean, he bought it for me, but I use it. Protect myself with it, I mean.
Eric, what brings you here?
I'm surprised you remember me.
Why, of course I do. We're both servants of the law, each in his own way. This must be a new partner. Nice to meet you. How can I help Miami-Dade's finest? I do, but we already have a problem. And I'd so hoped to be of help. Thad's a patient, and of course, client-patient privilege precludes my sharing any information about him. Sorry.
Thad told us voluntarily that he's been seeing a sexual therapist at your prescription.
As I indicated, I'm not really in a position to confirm or deny that. Now, that's a ridiculous question. You could ask anyone on the street, and they'd say yes. Of course I know her, personally, not just as a fan. Her music is not to my taste, rather too raucous and repetitious, but she's a charismatic performer, and personally, quite charming. I do. She is, in fact, a sexual therapist, and I have on occasion referred patients to her when their sexual problems are related to emotional distress. You must be mistaken. She has impeccable credentials. She's a highly intelligent, articulate professional.
Professional is right. Thanks for your time, Doc. We'll confer again.
Can I help you out in this case? Ask and you shall receive. Dr. Sullivan is the guy who can illuminate Thad's little problem. We'll pick up the good doctor for you.
We're going to try again, Doctor. We have questions about Thad Wilson, Ella Sinclair, and Julie Alvarez.
Now that you've gone through proper channels, I'll of course cooperate. I don't like it. It's a violation of my ethics, but you give me no choice. In his public life, Thad is dominated by a strong woman, Julia. In private, to perform sexually, he needs to dominate women. Within reasonable, bounds, this can be acceptable behavior, but he has been known to get out of bounds, rough, enraged, out of control. Thad could, indeed, have killed Ella. Specifically, he likes to indulge in sexual play involving asphyxia with his partner. This is a more common sexual practice than you might think, and of course usually stops short of endangering the partner. However, with Thad, the less his partner likes the act, the more he gets aroused. Combining the act of love with punishment is obviously dangerous in every sense. You see, dominating women in Thad's life extends back to his mother and grandmother and, well, that's more than you need or wish to know, I'm sure. But I will confirm that, yes, I prescribed Ella to him. You use that term in a demeaning and judgmental way. An individual who performs in adult video and film is a professional. So is a sexual surrogate. Many psychologists will assign such films, prescribe them if you like, to patients with sexual problems as a learning tool. She specializes in retraining men with dangerous sexual behavior, guiding them into alternative, safer arousal. Ella had quite a touch for curing a variety of sicknesses. That's all I can tell you right now.
Let's invite him back.
Well, actually, yes. This is embarrassing. My husband likes rough play. In bed. It's consensual. I'm very busy. Do you mind?
Sorry, officers. That's all I can think of for now.
Hey, what do you need? Physical evidence and his psychologist indicates that Thad is capable of killing. Plus bruise marks on Ella's neck. Let's get Mr. Rough Stuff in here for a little chat. And get his DNA while you're at it.
What's this about? I've been open and helpful to you people. I've done nothing wrong. Of course not. I didn't kill her or anyone ever. I hadn't had an appointment with Stella, or Ella, for over a week. I already told you people I was walking around the golf course out at Palm Glen with me, myself, and I. Sometimes I just need to be alone. Listen, my world is falling down all around me. Can't you cut me a break? How would you like it if your marriage was coming apart at the seams and you were all over the internet having rough sex with a sex partner who's turned up freaking dead?
Well, look on the bright side, Thad. If you killed Ella, where you'll be going, they like rough sex too.
Go ahead! Try to scare and intimidate me all you want. But I still wasn't on the boat that night. Julia? Don't be ridiculous. She may seem brassy and even abrasive sometimes, but she's got a gentle soul. She's an artist. Wouldn't hurt anybody, except maybe a critic. But if either one of us had done it, we're not stupid. We wouldn't leave evidence laying around.
Maybe not. But maybe you dumped it over the side. Maybe we need to go diving. Maybe I need to see if Yelena can pinpoint the best spot for us to go under.
Sounds like I don't have a choice anymore. Go ahead. But be gentle with me.
It's all we need for now.
The Coast Guard did some reconstructing of the radar records for us. Assuming evidence was tossed overboard, and based on a course tracked for the boat, I think we got a good spot to try searching for the murder weapon.
Okay, we've got a minicam attached to your short-range scuba gear, so I'll be able to keep track of you and your findings. But right now, your point of view is better than mine. Good catch. I couldn't make out that cell phone. Blends in with the rocks. Better snag it. You never know what's gonna turn out to be critical. Could be our missing gear from the misfortune. You shouldn't stray too far with the short-range scuba gear you're wearing. Better stay close for now.
What's up? Amplified and graphed that DNA, scanned it into the computer already. Go for it. Print's been scanned. It's on the computer. No significant water damage, thankfully. I was even able to pull a movie clip from that phone. Last 3 frames give the only significant detail, though. I sent them over to the image enhancement equipment. That's ready for image enhancement and microscopy. Plastic bottle has a hole in it, and I don't mean the one the cap goes over. The hole through the bottom means the bottle got completely exposed to the salt water. No hope of finding gunpowder traces. But it may have been used as a makeshift silencer. This is high-tech and high-end, not exactly garbage that you might toss over the side into the drink.
The contents of that duffel bag definitely came from the misfortune. That looks like a name brand on the top of that shoe. Pagley. We've drawn some real aces, but I don't think we have a pat hand yet. For so much evidence, we still don't have a murder weapon. Let's get Yelena's read. Doesn't look like there's a match in that set.
What do you need? You still don't have a murder weapon, so consider this. The stuff you found? Our perpetrator might have just dropped it over the side of the boat. But a killer would really toss a murder weapon. We'll set you up with better dive gear. That'll give you more range. Go back to the underwater side and try searching further out.
Now we're cooking. We've got our murder weapon. Let's find the hand that used it.
Hey. Image enhancement and microscopy equipment is where that's headed. You'll find a search link in the computer for that gun you found. Took the liberty of putting a bullet from its chamber into the image enhancement equipment, too.
Duct tape must have attached the bottle to the snout of the gun, creating a pop bottle silencer and making an exit wound in the plastic at the bottom of the bottle. Looks like the sea gave up our murder weapon, all right. Perfect match on the two slugs. Can't wait to hear Troy Sullivan explain how this is perfectly innocent, that he always keeps his gun underwater for safekeeping.
Can I help you out in this case? Yeah, let's have another chat with him.
Sorry, nothing more for you. Go ahead and ask. I might even have an answer. You'll have to ask Ella. I gave it to her over a week ago, when she said she was feeling scared, celebrity stalkers and such. Sure, for what good it'll do you.
It's all we need for now.
Let's invite him back.
I can't tell you anything about that.
It's all we need for now.
Yeah, let's have another chat with him.
Sorry, officers. That's all I can think of for now.
Hunches aren't reasons. If you want a warrant, convince me with facts.
What's up? Prints in the computer. Hey, don't mention it.
Troy's fingerprints are linked directly to the murder weapon on the duct tape used to attach the jury-rigged pop bottle silencer.
What do you need? His gun was near the crime scene and his fingerprint is on the duct tape from the makeshift silencer. Go to his home and see what you can find.
I'm getting a sick feeling. These clippings cover the last 6 months of that rash of prostitute killings. The media doesn't know it, but the bodies revealed evidence of necrophilia. I didn't think this case could get nastier. We need Alex. Brand name loafers. Pagley. We've seen the brand of these shoes before, but that won't hold up in court. We need 2 full shoe prints to get a positive match before we can consider it evidence.
Hey. Nothing special about the shoe, but maybe the tread will give you something more. I'll scan and drop it into the computer for you.
What now? I can neither confirm nor deny. However, it would fit the pattern of our working woman serial killer investigation.
Yes?
We've placed Troy on the dock on the night of the murder. We have our killer.
Hey, what do you need? Let's invite him back.
That's all I can tell you right now. Go ahead and ask. I might even have an answer. I really don't know. I have some duct tape around my place, used for all sorts of repair purposes and so on. Someone may have borrowed that, innocently, or even to make things difficult for me. I don't remember saying I did it. Maybe you could remind me.
Julia was prowling the Misfortune, having a look around the strange boat tied to her dock when she came upon Ella looking dead. Only Ella wasn't dead yet. When Julia hopped off the boat and went inside to make her 911 call, you made your getaway, Doctor. Sailing somewhere else more private to finish what you started. Which you did by putting a bullet in the troubled woman's brain.
I've appeared in court enough times to know that showing how a crime may have gone down isn't enough. All the circumstantial evidence in the world won't sell a jury without the why. That little thing called motive. I don't remember having one.
Are you sure, Doctor? Maybe you should heal yourself, 'cause you are sick. Those clippings in your room connect to this crime. The killing of a prostitute. Ella, as a sexual surrogate and porn actress, certainly fits to the cycle of such killings that we at Miami-Dade CSI have been trying to crack for months. Tell me this, Dr. Sullivan. Why wait until after your victims were dead to have your way with them?
You know, I really couldn't say. Maybe I could use a good head shrinker. And as far as healing myself, I just wouldn't have the objectivity. I'd be a lawyer defending himself, a fool for a client. And Mr. Delco, if you need an expert witness to testify for you in this case, maybe you should look elsewhere.
The mysteries of the mind are beyond even the best CSI. What a suspect has to say isn't as important as finding, following, and listening to the evidence. Nice work.